he's locked up till I think 25.
Okay.
All right, we are live.
Yay.
Always fun to be live. Oh,
Check audio.
sorry, thought of something that makes me cringe. There you go.
All right, yeah, audio is good.
It's funny, since I've added the things at the bottom, let's say like our Twitter handle and our Instagram, I've gotten just it hasn't helped at all whatsoever.
Realized that Brad had player option.
Yeah, I don't think he's opted into it though. We can talk about Brad too. All right.
Oh, whatever.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get started. I have a lot. Actually, let me organize my screen real quick. I got a lot going on. How can I make this? Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Never mind. I'm trying to split my screen into like 4 little corners. But it's not the same as I was expecting it to be. Oh well. Alright. That's annoying. Doesn't matter. Let's just get started. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we're getting started in 3, 2. Sorry. My screen's all sorts of messed up. Alright. Getting started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Doing all right, Chris. I've moved on from my sadness. I'm ready for the NBA offseason, and I'm excited to get right into it. So, with that being said, the newest news in the NBA offseason is that Kyrie Irving is apparently not staying with the Nets.
Who would have believed it?
Who would have thought?
It's a shocking revelation that contract talks have not been going so great because of his demands.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Nets, there's no way in hell I'm paying him. I'm trying to figure out some sort of either sign and trade or some sort of. Apparently, if he goes into his player option, they can trade him and not be under the hard cap. All those cap rules are something I'm not aware of.
It's above our pay grade.
Yeah, exactly. So, but so right now, I guess skill wise, he'd be the best free agent. But every other sense wise, I would not want to pay him a dime. And if you're the Nets and you can get him on a 2-year prove it deal, like do it. Go right ahead. But anything that he wants, that he's like all the rumors that he's coming out of, I'm just letting him walk.
What, he wants like a 4-year extension,
He wants
right?
a max, yeah. He wants the max contract. So
I
wouldn't
mean,
give it to him.
He's good enough.
He's good enough to give it to him, but he's not dependable
An elite
enough.
basketball player.
Yeah, but he's a head
It's
case.
such I know it's such a weird balance that you have to find here when negotiating his contract. Because like if they let him go, then you have Durant and Simmons. Like what else do you have? Like that team's not actually going to go anywhere. You have to find some sort of replacement for him. I don't know where that would come from.
Yeah, and the issue is if they let him walk, just let him walk. No sign and trade, no nothing. They get they can't just get that space doesn't just come back to them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that void of everyone because it's not like the NFL where it's like one guy leaves and you have this massive void that you can use all that money for. But you can't in the NBA, and that's not how it's going to work. So they're going to have to get something back either from a sign and trade or some other trade, or they're going to have to give in. And he has all the leverage because he can just go, look, I can leave if I want to any team that has cap and the teams that have cap space are like the Pistons and the Magic and like the Trailblazers. But so he's gonna have to really be like, look, I'm going to Orlando. Like I'm going to somewhere that can take me. Or
I wouldn't even want him if I were one of those teams.
No, because
to
he's
just
gonna
have
ruin
like
your
a bunch of
development.
young players coming in.
Yeah.
Then you just throw Kyrie Irving in the mix. That would throw off everything.
No, yeah, it would ruin your whole timeline.
Yeah, it would sell tickets though.
Yeah, you would get tickets, but you don't need it if you're those teams. You don't need a Kyrie. You're not a Kyrie Irving away from winning anything. So,
yeah, definitely
but
not.
The best scenario in my mind is him going back to LeBron. Easily going back to going to Lakers, playing with LeBron again, and then we get
the crazy thing too. Like I feel like it could work.
Oh, yeah, it's him, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. That's a team right there. As long as he gets his head on straight and puts it all together, that's a team.
And if they can get Davis back in basketball shape, which are two massive ifs. Like, I don't know. I think the odds of both those things happening are maybe 15, 20%.
Those are like the worst, like the least dependable basketball players in the NBA. And LeBron's in year 20 chasing a ring. Like, he's going to be just, he's going to be like, look, this is what I have to do.
Yeah, he's just like grasping at straws now.
So, then the best question that comes from that is, what happens with Russell? There's no way Kevin Durant's playing with Westbrook again. There's no way. And
wouldn't that just be beautiful? If it was basically a swap.
Awful. It'd be so awful.
I feel like Russ will end up somewhere like Charlotte or somewhere where it's kind of out of the spotlight.
Yeah,
that's
I think so too.
Feeling.
And
unless it's the Knicks.
The Knicks.
Which would be an all-time Knicks.
Stephen A. would said he'd trade he'd trade everyone for Russell Westbrook. So apparently the Knicks fans would be a fan of it. So
I just don't believe it. How can you watch him and like see his numbers and still believe that he's like a productive basketball player?
The best part is that they're sitting there like on First Take or whatever, and I'm sure the second he either gets traded or doesn't get traded, or say like if they start the season with Russell Westbrook on the team, someone's gonna say, I mean, he can still get you 18 points a game and a triple double. Like he can still get you a triple double. So how bad could he possibly be?
That and he's an MVP.
Yeah,
argument always comes up. Like once you win an MVP, that is in every single argument about who you are as a player, even if it was 15 years ago. Well, he's a former MVP.
He's an MVP.
I think he's washed at this point, though. Like that, he's just not the same player. It's completely different.
It is completely different. And
when he won the MVP, they were an 8 seed. So
it's not like he's ever been he's never been the man of actual, like, I guess he's been to the playoffs a couple times, but it's not like he was ever went anywhere far. So
yeah,
but former MVP. I just want to know, like, there's a world where they can the Nets get cap space because of the trade to get rid of Kyrie, and it's funny if they let him walk, they don't get cap space, but if they trade and get like almost nothing back for him, they get cap space. So, a world.
I don't understand that.
Trust me, I don't get it either. So there's a world where it might be even better than Russell Westbrook going with Kevin Durant, where he just goes to OKC and the hometown hero comes back just for a couple more years. And
You think that would be better than him playing with Durant?
I don't know. I just think, just imagine, like, you're OKC, you're a fan of OKC, you're like, you already know you're on a timeline to be a fan for this team for the next, like, 5 years, because, like, they're not going to do anything. Like, they're just going to suck for the next 5 years. But instead of getting able to watch young nobody players, it's like, oh, you got to get yourself excited for Russell Westbrook again. And him just back at the same team, stealing rebounds again, not passing it to any of the young guys. Like, it would just be a disaster. An absolute disaster.
I guess I was thinking that there was still like animosity there, but I guess his exit was not frowned upon.
No,
at
it was
all.
not.
It wasn't like Durant's.
No, they still love him there, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, that would actually be cool. But again, like, if you're the Thunder, do you really want him coming in there?
No, you don't at all. There's like, if I'm the Thunder, I want nothing to do with Westbrook. And he had, I think the other day, he had like the Russell Westbrook Day that's in Oklahoma City. And it's like, sure, like, have your fanfare for him, but don't bring him back.
Maybe like his last year before retirement.
There you go. Yeah. Imagine a team with Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, that would be
that Kevin Durant would want to quit on that team immediately. So,
Westbrook probably hates Durant more than Durant hates Westbrook.
Oh, 100%. That first, like, press conference would be so special. It would be just, yes. I feel like it would just be silence for a little bit until I don't know. They're the type of guy. I feel like NBA players, though, it's like, if once they're forced on the same team, it's like they'll bury the hatchet. You know, it's not like they're gonna be arguing on the court or anything.
Right. And like, they both want to win.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Russell Westbrook just wants to win. He's just bad at basketball.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know what's going on in Durant's mind.
I don't know what it is either. And I woke up, I think it was yesterday, this news came out about Kyrie that he's basically out on the Nets. And I saw, like, delusional Celtics fans, oh, Kevin Durant coming to Boston. It's I was just like, what?
I thought I saw
the
you
brakes.
tweet that.
I retweeted. I said, pump the brakes. What's going on?
Okay.
Or I might have said.
I could have sworn I saw.
I probably said
like
we want
Durant.
Yeah. I think Jamari was talking about Michael Brogdon. I said, nah, we want Durant. We want Durant.
I mean, of course you want Durant.
Yeah, and my buddy was saying the other day or yesterday, I was talking about it, and he was like, oh, you know, it would take away from Tatum, like, and the core that we brought, winning a chip if we won a chip with Durant. And it was like, I don't care. I wouldn't care at all. Like, all that Warriors backlash, like the 2 rings fake because it's had with Kevin Durant. They ain't fake in their minds. They're still gold. They're still on their rings. They had a parade. So I wouldn't care at all. I'd be all for it. But it ain't happening. There's no way.
I doubt it. They were one of the final suitors for him, though. What, didn't it come down to the Warriors and the Celtics?
Yeah, it was. He made the wrong choice. But,
well,
I mean,
debatable.
Yeah, debatable. But, anyways, it's funny with the whole Kevin Durant situation. If he wants out after this Kyrie debacle, there's not a lot of suitors. Like, I mean, of course, everyone would want Kevin Durant, but realistically, I don't even know what that looks like.
Option.
Wizards seem like the best bet, honestly.
He's coming home.
Yeah, there you go. I think when he was a free agent, he should have come home. Should have come home to DC. He needs to come home at some point. Now
that was never even got close to being real. Like, we talked about it for a couple years as if it was like, oh, well, obviously he's gonna come home.
No, it was New York all the way.
Yeah.
That would but it's really interesting to see, like, I haven't seen a lot of points about, like, where would Kevin Durant actually go. It was just like, oh, Kevin Durant won out of the Nets, but, like, who's gonna have enough to get rid of to be good enough to hold Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think he's perfectly fine with if Kyrie leaves.
You
I don't
think he
he'll
stays?
want to leave. I probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would drive. They'd have to see. He'd have to see what else the roster becomes.
Right, yeah.
But I don't think him leaving would.
But I'm
be
sure he also has a big say in that.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like Kevin Durant comes up to the GM is like, "Oh, pay Kyrie Irving the max," and they're probably like, "Sorry, Kevin, no." I don't know. This team's gonna be. I'm excited to see what they look like, post free agency, post draft, because I think it's gonna be like, who knows if they even keep Ben Simmons. So
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of
They're
questions with this
definitely
Nets team.
them and the Lakers are like the most volatile teams right now.
But
in
it's
terms
funny
of
because
we
they
just
could
have
also look exactly the
idea.
same.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they could look exactly the same by the end.
Which would be wildly disappointing.
It would be.
Especially for the Lakers specifically.
That's true. So let's look at other options for the Lakers because they think they're going to get everyone in the free agency. But NBA free agency's coming up. It's coming up. It's right. Is it? Do you know when it starts specifically?
I don't know.
I just looked it up. June 30th starts. Not so 9 days right after the draft.
Things
Drafts
get
this
rolling
Thursday.
quickly.
Yeah, they get rolling quick. Sorry, I'm looking up making sure I have all the big names. So, big name for the biggest name is Zach LaVine, and it's funny. I don't think he's definitely come back to the Bulls. That's my prediction on him. I don't think there's anyone that's out there that could get him, and he doesn't have enough leverage to be like sign and trade me to the Lakers, unless he goes I'm signing with, the Portland Trailblazers. It's like that's the only leverage he has. So I feel like he will go back to the Bulls if they offer it to him.
Is he a max guy? Like, will he get a max extension, do you think?
Yeah, whatever his max is. Like the max is such a loose term because it depends on
That's true.
how many like all NBA teams you get. I think that's all the only thing that matters actually is how many all NBA teams you make. But whatever his max is, he will get the max. And other ones is your guy Brad Beal. I think he's staying. I think he's staying.
He said he's gonna stay forever now.
And he
Like,
said on a
every
he was
time
talking
like the rumors come up, he says, "I want to stay."
Mhm.
I don't know why he wants to stay. I don't even know if it would be best for them if he stays.
Oh,
To be honest,
I was gonna say it might not be the best if he stays, because you might end up in another John Wall situation. Like you're gonna pay him 5 years, $250 million,
yeah,
and he's 29 years old.
yeah. I don't like Wall. I also just don't think that he's good enough to be the guy on a team.
No, he's not. We've seen it.
Right?
He's not.
Yeah. Like they've had the team.
Yeah, they've had the team for a while. We've seen it. Where did you think he would go?
It's a good question. Honestly,
It's funny with a lot of these teams because no one in the NBA
I
has
haven't
cap
seen any
space.
rumors.
I haven't either. The biggest one I guess would be like Philly, be a rumor,
Oh, I would not like that.
or so according to Vegas, the odds for Bradley Beal, the favorites are the Boston Celtics. I don't know why.
Do you have the money for that?
I don't think so, but I don't know how money works anymore. So like it could be like
True.
some sign and trade where it's like we give up nothing to get him on some deal. But I wouldn't want, like, if we're paying him max, like I don't think we're Bradley Beal away. Like, of course he would have helped. He would have helped a lot on that offense. But I don't know. I feel like especially the last 2 years, have you felt like Bradley Beal has been Bradley Beal of the past, this guy that has been, I felt like he's fallen off the past year.
He's been injured a lot, so I think that's some of it.
Yeah,
But
I think it definitely helps.
I don't think he's fallen off from just like a pure ability to score standpoint.
That's true, and
I mean,
he can
2 years
handle
ago,
the
he
ball.
averaged 31 a game.
Yeah,
I think he
that's
was
fair.
just a point away from being the scoring champ.
I remember that because it was him and LeBron, right, fighting for it.
Mm.
Yeah, he is a pure scorer. Doesn't play a lot of defense. His three is. I'm looking at it.
That
His
is the
three
issue.
He's calmed down a little
He
bit,
kind of forgot how to shoot threes.
which is not something you
Like,
want.
yeah, he shot 30% from three this year. That's
It's not
really
good.
bad. He was in a 3-point contest, I'm pretty sure, at one point.
Yeah, he used to be really good at threes. So
So
it's funny, and like you're right. I haven't seen any rumors about it. Like I haven't seen any besides.
I'm
I guess,
just
Celtics
like when
stuff.
I look it up, I just see from the deadline this year. So it's like the Heat, the Sixers. It says the Suns.
Really,
Suns emerge as early offseason suitor for Bradley Beal. I
the
could see
Suns would be
that.
kind of
I
cool.
mean, but like him and Booker wouldn't
They're kind of like the
fit
same
together, would
position.
they?
Yeah, no, they're kind of the same position.
I don't. And defensively, like that's would
Yeah,
be a
defensively,
disaster.
that's horrific.
So
Yeah,
I don't see that at all.
this is gonna be weird this offseason because you have like Harden's probably gonna stay. It seems like that's already nailed in. That I think a rumor came out that he's gonna stay. Beal might leave, Levine might leave, and they're all kind of the same position. They're all kind of this two guard that's not really good at defense, but is a good scorer.
Yeah, I think Miami could make sense.
I think Miami
'Cause
would
you
make
can
sense.
play Butler at the 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a scorer at you. You have Hero as well, so you have 2 shooting guards basically that can come in and play at the same time for points in the game, not start at the same time. But you've got like your front court defense locked down with Bam. You've got Lowry, I guess. But I think that, and I think Boston could work as well.
I think Boston could work. It would have to be. I wonder what they would have to give up in whatever sign and trade
Right, yeah.
type deal. But it seems like those sign and trades, it's never like you're never giving up some massive piece for it. So
Mhm.
I guess that would be a good thing. It would take a hit on the defense. You wouldn't be able to switch on everything.
Right.
And we still wouldn't have that like, and of course Marcus is playing the point as of right now. And we just I like I don't know. It seems like I feel like with
You
Brown
have
and
to play
Tatum.
small.
Yeah, and I feel like with Brown and Tatum, we kind of have those like I feel like now next year they will be much better scorers than they were. I think that they hopefully have learned from this finals experience and will be I just push themselves to the
I
next
mean, you
level.
don't just learn to be a better scorer, though.
I know, but they can learn they already are good scorers. They just need to learn how to like finish and attack when they need to. And I don't know, Bradley Beal, he would definitely be a plus for this team. Like it wouldn't be a negative.
Mhm.
But it all have to depend on what they want. You know?
That's true.
What they want back. But they have that friendship, that St. Louis friendship with him and Tatum that has been talked about all the time.
Mhm. Yeah, because there was one like maybe week there where I thought Tatum might come to the Wizards. Just because my roommate said it. And then I looked it up and there was like one article about it and I was like, oh my god, that would be
Oh,
amazing for the podcast.
can you believe this, Chris? The Lakers are interested in Bradley Beal. What a
Really?
surprise. What a
That's
surprise.
crazy.
The Lakers that are interested in every free agent are also
Another
interested
guy
in
who
Bradley.
can't shoot threes and doesn't play defense. Perfect fit.
Would you take Russ back?
No, I don't. I would not take Russ back. I think that we should just blow it up.
I think you should. I
Like,
think you should too.
I think that they should run. We'll get into the mock draft later, but I want to see Johnny Davis, Kuzma, Rui, Denny, KCP, or not KCP,
I don't. All right. I don't know if this is a hot take or not.
Porzingis.
Yeah, Porzingis. All right. Before you keep going, I don't know if it's a hot take or not. On the Boston Celtics next year, I would rather have Kyle Kuzma than Bradley Beal. I was thinking about it the other day. Kuzma is almost a perfect bench guy. He would come off the bench if he wants, if he can. I mean, like if he allows the role to happen. Come off the bench, control the second unit, score. He's been there before. He's a champion, NBA champion. I was thinking about the other day. I was like, I'd love Kyle Kuzma on the Celtics. So how about you guys keep Beal? We'll take Kuzma. Just off your
I
hands.
like Kuzma a
He's.
lot.
I like Kuzma too.
I really like him.
He's a.
So I don't really want to give him to you.
I was seeing. I feel like every mock trade with the Wizards has to do with Kuzma. I'm like, I feel like they'd want to keep him.
know.
They'd want to keep
I
him.
mean, it depends on what they could get. What was the one? It was Kuzma and 10 for number 4.
Oh, that I would do.
I'd do
100
that
times. Yeah.
because I want Ivy.
Yeah, I'd do that 100 times out of 100. But
And then you get, and then you have Ivy, Porzingis, Rui,
anything with
Well,
Denny,
there's a lot to
Denny's got to stay. Anything with Denny
I like
can't
Denny.
happen.
I feel like I was thinking about this the other day. I guess it was while I was lifeguarding, just because there's so much for me to sit and think about while I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about how, he's such a young, he was drafted at what, like 18, 19? And he's been in the league for 2 years. Like, he's got
He's had plenty of time. Yeah. So same with
21
Rui.
now.
Rui's also pretty young, right?
Rui was like 22 when he was drafted, though.
Oh,
He's 24 now.
never.
I mean, he's all right, I guess. He's 3 years older than Denny is.
But he's gonna be more like what he is like now than he ever will. Like he's not.
I said that the day of the draft. I said I'm worried that he's gonna come in and like contribute right away, and then just
And that's it.
like never turn into anything real.
Yeah.
Which I think is exactly what's happening.
So
It's surprising.
before we get to the mock draft, other two free agents that seems like the only two bigger ones that are going to be possibly on the move is DeAndre Ayton from the Suns and Jalen Brunson from the Mavericks. So you see that Brunson's dad got hired by the Knicks, so everyone's like, oh, you gotta go to the Knicks. It's like, this isn't high school.
But like in the front office.
No, hired as like a assistant coach. Like this isn't
okay.
some college or a high school where it's like, oh, because of I gotta go where my dad is, and maybe it is. Like maybe I'm wrong, but
It's the Knicks, and maybe
I don't know.
Seems like a perfect New York story.
It's funny though. It's like, is Brunson really what you want, Knicks? Is this what you like? That's what you're.
It was the same
That's
thing a
what you're
couple years ago when they signed like Randall and Taj Gibson, and there's one other. Who else did they get?
Oh, they got like
They
3
missed
power
out on.
forwards
Yeah, they missed out on Durant and Kyrie.
and Zion, all in one draft, or
So
all in
who
one
did
offseason. It was
There's one other power forward.
it was
but-
Bobby Portis, wasn't it?
Yes, Bobby Portis.
Yeah. And yeah, so I don't know. This just seems like they're like, oh, we need a point guard, so got you the best one on the market, and it's Jalen Brunson. Like, and Jalen Brunson's a nice player. I don't know. I think he will stay in Dallas though. They can give him the most money, and he seems like he loves the team. Ayton, on the other hand, he might be gone because it doesn't seem like the Phoenix Suns want to pay for him.
Which is strange.
Very strange.
Like, if you draft a guy number 1 and he becomes productive, you think that, like...
You want to keep him forever, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And you just went to the finals a year ago. With the
yeah, and
he's what?
we're
And
game
Aiden's like
7 away from playing in the conference finals this year.
Yeah, and I think he's still super young, right?
Should be,
He's
yeah.
23. Yeah, he's got room to grow, and he already has chemistry with the guys. I don't know. It's a strange. You're right. It's strange, but the owner Sarver, he is just not known for paying. He's just not known for paying for people. So I think I think a good fit for him would actually be Portland if he does leave. Help out Dame. Maybe it leads to something, but they need a big man.
Dame,
and yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, I always.
Whatever happened with him, like, is it still rumored that he's gonna leave, or is he?
They are like in the middle of like a rebuild, and Dame's still on the team. So I
That's why it doesn't make sense.
So like they think with all this cap space they can try to get someone, but
I mean, it's what the Warriors basically did that with Curry.
Yeah, but they also
Think about it.
What? All right, explain.
Well, I mean, it wasn't entirely. Actually, it is because Dame was hurt last year.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Warriors, they lost Durant. They basically lost Clay too. and then they had to kind of like rebuild the team, and he wasn't playing, so they brought in Wiggins, they drafted Poole, drafted Wiseman, brought in like Porter, Looney. Actually, Looney I think had been there.
Yeah, Looney was there.
Like you basically kind of rebuilt the team, filling in for when Steph wasn't there, and then when Steph came back, like he actually had the team. And I don't want to put Lillard on the same
Yeah,
year
I
as
agree.
Steph, but
I see
I'm
what you're
thinking
saying.
about it. It kind of makes sense.
I see what you're saying. I see that they have a lot of they're one of like the 3 teams that have cap space. So every one of these guys you're gonna hear a rumor about them going to Portland because they're the only ones with cap space. So maybe they can convince a free agent to come. Maybe they can get Ayton. And you're right. Maybe they can be. Maybe they can.
Problem is they have the 7th pick.
Yeah, they didn't get like the 2nd, the 3rd. They got like the 7th. So, but even with the 7th, you can try to trade that for either some other role players or a mini star. Like you can try to get someone with that. So I think you're right. Maybe there's hope for Portland, and I think he's just on board because it seems like he is just loves Portland, wants to do it the right way.
Well, good for him.
Power to him. All right, you ready for this mock draft?
Yep. I was getting distracted anyway because I have the Wizards like salary sheet pulled up and just trying to manage the team in my head about the things that they could do.
You got to get the 2K looted up.
I know. I was just thinking that my controller's broken, so I've been a little bit distracted.
That's a shame.
Because first it was this, and I was like, "What are we gonna do with Beal?" And then it was like, "Oh, why don't I just do it myself?" Oh, wait, I need a new Xbox controller.
Damn.
And 50% focus on the podcast right now. My apologies.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Be 100% committed because we're ready for the NBA 2022 lottery mock draft. We decided to do only the lottery because by pick 14, I already didn't really know the players. So apologize for our not expert analysis on this, but you're going to get it anyways.
I don't think anyone really cares about later in the draft anyway.
Yeah, they care about the top 10 pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even once we get past like my 11 through 14, I don't know what I'm going to say about.
All right. Let's go number 1. Orlando Magic on the clock. This I had a lot of I flipped back and forth with this a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so what I did the same thing with the NFL where I looked up the odds.
Yeah.
And Jabari Smith has the highest odds.
That's who I went with. Okay. I also went with Jabari Smith. I was thinking about it, and like the Orlando Magic, they have to hit. And it's like Chet has such a high ceiling, but it could also crash and burn. Mm-hmm. And Jabari, I feel like, has the better. I think it fits a little better with the team that they already have. They already have a lot of point guards. He didn't have a single point guard his whole college career, or at least a good one.
Yeah, no, not at all, Auburn.
So yeah, and his field goal percentage, his 2-point percentage was pretty horrendous. But his 3-point percentage was great, and
yeah,
they already have a lot of they have a good center. I guess they also have a good power forward, but I feel like he fits right in and could be a good contributor right away for the Magic.
Yeah, that's it feels like the safest pick, which is not necessarily a bad thing either. Like I do agree. I think Chet has higher ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he could end up being like a bona fide superstar, but this guy is more likely to come in and produce right away. And when you have the number 1 pick, I feel like that's what you have. It's like we talk about it with the Jags in the NFL draft,
mm-hmm.
where Hutchinson was the safe pick. They ended up going with
Trayvon Walker, and
we don't know. Like maybe he has a higher ceiling, but you can't miss when you have the number 1 pick because the reason you have the number 1 pick is because you suck.
Mm-hmm.
You need guys that can come in right away.
The apparently Bleacher Report 7 minutes ago, bearing a major surprise, Jabari Smith will go number 1. So that's the best way to do it. You know, that means it's got to go All the reports are leaning towards Smith.
Mhm.
It makes sense.
And they're usually right.
Yeah, they're normally
Like
right.
we usually don't have that many surprises
Especially with number
by
one.
the time. Yeah, right.
All right. This leads me to my favorite pick in the draft. This is the reason why, one of the major reasons why I didn't have Orlando take him, because I love Chet Holmgren to OKC.
Yeah.
Talk about fitting the timeline, like we just said with Jabari Smith. It perfectly fits the timeline. They still want to lose. So this Chet pick's not going to be like, I mean, I wouldn't think a Jabari Smith be like, oh, we're gonna win 28 games and ruin our odds. But this team is still young and is still growing, and they have a great front court. They have a great back court. They need a good front court, and Chet is the perfect unicorn to add to this team.
Who's the other guy that they have that is
Poku.
Okay, that's
him
right.
and Poku gonna be the Slim Towers.
Slim Towers. That's what I couldn't remember I knew that there was something there.
The Slim Towers.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome.
Yeah,
we have never seen an NBA team like that with those two guys down low. We were talking about like the Wizards somehow trying to get Chet, and just thinking about him and Porzingis, but this would be very similar. I don't know how well that works. You couldn't start them both, I don't think.
Oh, I don't think
maybe. I mean, they're both just so skinny. He's got to put on some weight.
Chet is going to be the most fascinating NBA player, I feel like, next year. He's just going to be, like, already, just coming into the league, he's going to be the most fascinating player. Just because, and it's, like, this statement that I'm about to say is okay. We just have never seen anyone that looks like this. This dude is one of one. So, who knows what is going to happen? It could be.
I mean, yeah, a guy that's 7 feet but can play like a 2 guard.
And he's also smart as hell. Like,
yeah.
he is probably he has a great basketball IQ. His defensive IQ is phenomenal. And then he's stuck in this 7-foot body that can just shoot over everybody. So, he's definitely going to need some weight at some point, and I think it'll come. But he has the this is going to be a one-of-one guy if he puts it all together.
I feel like he can be taken advantage of physically, just because the guys in the NBA are so much stronger than him. But he's just so long. Yeah. But, like, even if he's still going to be able to contest shots. So I don't know. It will definitely be fascinating to see. And you can only put on so much weight when you look like that.
Yeah, because you don't want too much weight. You don't have and what's nice though about Chet, and I guess this was the whole ceiling factor and basement, but you know he's just gonna he's gonna at least be Al Horford, right? He's gonna be able to shoot because he can now, and he's going to be able to play good defense. So you're going to get someone that at least, no matter what else happens, he can at least be a little bit worse Hal Horford, which isn't bad.
Yeah. He's definitely going to be the most interesting player in this draft. And we've known that he was the most interesting player in college.
Yep. And I'm excited to see if he goes to this Oklahoma City team. I just am excited to see this white boy lineup that they're gonna have.
That's us. Like, nobody has ever looked like this team will. With Giddey too.
Yeah, with Giddey, Poku. Like, they're just they're gonna instruct their will with these weird looking white guys.
And then who they have? They have
Shai Gilgeous still.
Dort.
Yeah. They're gonna the starting five. The Giddey, Shea, Dort, Chet, and what's his name? Poku. Let's see it. Let's run it. That'd be the what do they call the Warriors? The death lineup. That's the death lineup right there. All right, number 3, third guy. I'm guessing it's the third guy on the block.
Gotta be Paolo. Yeah.
It's gotta be Paolo.
Sweat thing concerns me a little bit.
What's his sweat problem?
He sweats he loses 8 pounds a game.
Yeah, I did hear
take
that.
Special medicine or something.
Yeah, that's an issue.
I don't know if it will be or not, but it seems like it is. I guess he was fine this year.
So
But, like, what happens if they go to San Antonio in the finals and the AC breaks? Then on LeBron,
yeah, he'd have worse cramps than LeBron.
he's screwed.
He would be screwed. It's funny. He can be like I think any three of these guys could be the best player in the draft,
Hmm.
but he can be the one that we just like. Oh, I can't believe we just let this guy go to three.
Yeah.
Like kind of like Evan Mobley was this year,
Mm.
where he fell to three, and we were like, oh, I just can't believe they got the best player in the draft at three. But
If he can improve his 3-point shot, I think he will be the best player in the draft.
yeah, and I think like I don't know if this is a false statement or not, but I always feel like they all like their shot percentages in the NBA when you're a high draft pick like this, they always get better. Because you're
Mhm.
not the best guy on your college team, you're like the fifth best guy on your NBA team, and you actually
Right,
have
yeah,
some
that's
real
true.
point guards, and some teammates that will put you in the right position. But I think
Duke is
I think he can
basically
be
an
pretty
NBA
dominant.
team.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I think he can be pretty dominant.
I do
Paolo.
too.
And
I think he has to learn to play better defense too. But he's so athletic that that
yeah.
should come naturally
Mhm.
at some point.
As long as it's the NBA. As long as you put in some effort,
Mhm.
defense will come. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's funny. I always forget what position he is, because like he doesn't look as big as he is.
He really doesn't.
He looks
So
much smaller.
Yeah. Kuzma was the same way. When I found out that Kuzma was 6'10", I was very surprised.
Yeah, very Kuzma-ish.
But
And
like you could run him at the 3 or the 4, I think.
yeah, I'd agree. This has the one that I have it on said power forward, but he could definitely play small forward. And he like the way that he went at in that Gonzaga game, like the Texas Tech game, like he just had so many moments this year that like okay, he'll be pretty decent at least.
Mhm.
All right, number 4. Is it you got the same thing I got?
I put Ivy here.
I put Ivy here too.
At first I didn't, but then I decided that he's the best guy available.
So
At first I think I had Keegan Murray here.
that
I saw some buzz
that's
about
kind of like
that.
the two options for the Kings.
Yeah.
If I'm the
and the other
Kings-
reason is because you have De'Aaron Fox, but I don't know. I feel like even if you have two guys that don't fit perfectly together, like you can't take that risk and not take the guy you think is the best player. So
The Kings are screwed. The Kings are screwed because they always screw themselves every time. If they pick Jaden Ivey, this will be the 4th point guard in 4 drafts that they will draft in the first round.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
No, that should be like illegal. They should be arrested for that. And
Just trade the pick then.
they should trade the pick. That's what I think they should do, because you're going to look like a fool if you take someone that's not Ivy, and especially if you don't get anything back from trading down, because he is the next best available player, and someone will trade up who needs a point guard, like the Wizards, will trade up and then spend some real capital to try to get that 4th pick. All the reports that I'm seeing is that they will trade the 4th pick. That's what I'm seeing. But with the thing I'm not going to predict trades, because sometimes we always say that there's going to be trades happening like crazy, and then like last year it never happened. But I do believe this pick will be traded. Just don't know where. But even if they don't, I say take them anyways and just deal with your problems later.
Yep. Because
you'd rather have the problem
having
of too many good players.
That's what it's a good problem to have when you have 3 good point guards on one team.
Yeah.
Because then you can move them
Mm-hmm.
for positions that you actually need. But like that comes when you're ready to be a competitive team.
Yeah.
Like first you have to have the talent.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're reaching on guys because they're a better fit when you have the 4th overall pick, then you're going to be in the top
same
10
position.
again.
Yeah, you're going to be in the same position. I
So
agree.
you don't fill your needs through the draft. I don't think. I think that's general consensus,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's like quarterback in the NFL for some reason. But
Yeah,
basketball, especially, like you take the best guy there,
I
and I
agree.
think I can't make an argument for any of these guys being better than Ivy.
No, I can't either. And it seems like consensus with all the draft people is it's the same way. It's Ivy is the next guy up. He's the
Mhm.
next, or the
Really
next out of the
I want
three.
him so bad. I'd almost trade Beal for Ivy.
Oh, I would do that instantly. Like if you get Beal for the fourth pick, like you get the fourth pick for Beal. Hell yeah,
Mhm.
I would do that.
That would be awesome.
All right. My next pick is of course, to the Pistons, and I got Sharp out of it says Kentucky, but he never played a game there.
Yes, I have the same
Really,
thing. Yes.
really. So
I mean, the Pistons. All right, here's my thinking. The Pistons are a team that is nowhere close to competing.
mhm.
They need to find someone who can play with Cunningham, and they have plenty of time. So it makes sense to draft a guy who is very raw right now.
Yep, yeah. I
I
was
don't know
thinking.
anything about this guy because I haven't seen him play.
All I know is that he was the number one prospect going in, and then
Hmm.
didn't play for some reason. But I was thinking that, and I was also looking at their roster, and they already have a young power forward in crap. It was the guy the Kings drafted before Luca, but they have any like technically I guess right now he's a bust, but he's still young.
Bagley.
Bagley, yeah. They have Marvin Bagley. They have who else do they have? They have a couple other power forwards that are there. So
Jeremy Grant.
yeah, still on the roster right now. So the need for a
This
power
team
forward in
is
Keegan Murray
atrocious.
is not there.
Mhm.
And the need for a shooting guard is very much there. Like their starting shooting guard is Diallo, who won the dunk contest and does nothing else, and
It's
Carson Edwards. Yeah, great Carson Edwards. But now that no one else on the team is another guard for Cade Cunningham, and this would be a perfect. You're right. They could grow up together in the NBA.
There's a lot of guards too that are like I feel like this is a guard heavy top 10.
Yeah, I agree.
Outside of the top 3, I feel like it becomes all guards.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Next up, I'm guessing is gonna be the same one because it's just a great fit. Keegan Murray,
available again.
yeah,
Yep.
Keegan Murray to the Pacers. Another great fit. They already have the guards that they need. They just got Halliburton with the distributor that they need, and now they're gonna get someone for their front court. And they'll probably get rid of Miles Turner at some point,
Mhm.
which we've been saying that for like 5 years now.
He's like Eric Favors in 2K.
Oh yeah,
It's like the Jazz are always trying to trade Derek Favors. Aren't
No.
they? Isn't TJ Warren leaving too?
Yeah, TJ Warren, he's a free agent. Another Celtics guy I would like. If we can get Bubble Jordan, that'd be sick. They got Jalen. They have Jalen Smith. I think they can re-sign him. Brogdon is
He should still be on his rookie deal.
no. They remember because Phoenix is so cheap. They literally just waived the end. Of his rookie deal.
Right.
Yeah, they're so cheap that they just waived the last couple salaries.
That was a terrible pick.
Yeah, they could have gotten Halliburton. Halliburton would have been great for him, backing up.
And at the time, like Smith was not ready to come in and play minutes in the NBA, at least for a competitive team. And they were a competitive team.
Yeah, it
So
was
that never made any sense. I was pissed about that because I love Jalen Smith, obviously, and that was not a spot for him to succeed.
No,
So I'm glad he's with Indiana because he had actually a pretty good year.
Yeah, he had a good end to his year.
13-7 in his last
Not bad.
22 games. Yeah.
Yeah, Brogdon seems like it's on his way out. Same with Buddy Hield. They're just trying to get younger, trying to get better players, and Keegan Murray is the best option here.
He could like instantly come in and be
He'd
at
be
least the number one scoring option.
I was about to say he'd be the scoring option of this team. Because it would
So
be
it's
Halliburton,
a
and
perfect spot.
him and Halliburton would be a great duo. I feel like.
I think so. At least they have the potential to be.
All right, next up, the Pacers. I have
No.
Benedict Mathurin. From
Oh, finally we have different. I have Dyson Daniels,
okay,
the G League guy.
yeah. You think another point guard with Dame?
I mean, he's 6'8".
That's true. I guess you can move him over.
I don't.
No,
This is
I
another
have him
guy
as
that I
6'6".
don't really know much about.
So what I know about Dyson, because I have him on my going. Well, I guess I'll talk to him because he's coming up soon. So I'll talk to him when I'll talk to him about when he's coming up soon. What do you know about Benedict? Because I know that he's a good scorer, and he's not a good ball handler. So I was thinking, Dame will handle the ball, and he could hopefully put Benedict in position to help him out. And they need a small forward. I think their number one right now is Josh Hart, who isn't terrible, but this could be an upgrade. And 17 points a game isn't bad.
No, he was really good at Arizona. He was like the go-to scoring option. I didn't know he was a bad ball handler.
I don't know. That's what I read on some because when I was doing this, I used a website, and it was like all like the positives and negatives for it, and
okay,
negatives.
But yeah, he seems like a guy who will just be a scorer. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how well he'll actually translate to the NBA.
It's weird. His free throws went down. I'm looking at his percentage from the last 2 seasons. And maybe he was taking more of them. I'm guessing he was taking more of them. But 84% to 76% is not good. And a 5-point dip in his 3-point percentage too. So, I don't know. I don't know much.
Well, was he a sophomore this year?
Yeah, he was a sophomore. He came in, I guess, stayed a year at Arizona. I think he could possibly translate well. They need a small forward. That's kind of why I put him there. And yeah, that's all
yeah, he's an interesting one. Because I feel like he's small to play small forward.
6'6". ESPN has him as a guard, and then here, this website that I used has him as a small forward. So I don't know.
I guess like wing has kind of merged those positions almost.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like edge in football.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I liked him. I liked watching him in the tournament.
Right here,
I know that.
Headlines: the upside of Benedict Mathurin is hiding in plain sight, according to Super Bowl Nation.
I mean, the kid can score.
Kid can score. Yeah.
And if you put him on a team where he actually has other options and like less of the attention is focused on him,
he'll be able to score.
I would think so. I mean, that's like
hopefully.
Massively oversimplifying the draft in the NBA, but you can talk yourself into anybody.
Oh yeah.
I just don't know. He worries me that he's like a guy that's really good in college just because of the defense that he faces. And then when it's the NBA, like his offensive game doesn't translate. I could be dead wrong about that.
But even if that's true, he's going to be on a team in my mock draft at least with Dame Lillard, and will be luckily the focus will not be on him. It'll be on Lillard.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Do you want to talk about Dyson, or do you want me to? He's my next pick for this to Pelicans, so we could talk about it together if you want.
Let's tag team it.
All right. So I have the next pick. I have Dyson Daniels going to the Pelicans.
I have Mathurin, by the way, so we just had those two flipped.
Okay, so we have them flipped. My thoughts were, I was like, the Pelicans are an up and rising team that has a lot of players already, like that are going to be playing next year. Like they have, and what could they use? And they could use a guy like Daniels who can pass the ball very well and distribute to apparently like the things that I read about him was just raving about his facilitating ability. So they on a team with Zion and Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, having another guy to facilitate and pass the ball to everybody seems like right up their alley.
So he's more of like a facilitator than he is a scorer.
Yeah, I heard that's why that's what I've
Okay,
heard.
yeah. Athletic, aggressive defender, budding playmaker. Yeah, I guess I like that more now that I think about it. The way that you have it.
Well,
With
thanks. Well, thanks.
Matherin going 7 and Daniels going 8. Because they don't have like who's the Pelicans point guard right now?
They have CJ McCollum, so they
He's
have
not really a point guard though.
no. He's more of a shooting guard, and they have I guess
Alvarado.
Alvarado. So would be a big upgrade and help them defensively because McCollum's not very good at defense, and be able to pass around as I just said. I like it. Like when you look at the other guys, it feels like they're all like people that will be a key to a team, and like Daniels, it seems like would be just a perfect fit for a team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
The only thing is I think he has a higher ceiling than Benedict does, which would
Daniels?
which would maybe be why he goes before him.
Yeah, I could see that.
Also, apparently, he had. Wait, let me find the headline. Oh, where'd it go? About the Pacers. It said that like he had one of the best workouts that Indiana has ever seen.
Oh, then we maybe he's going to the Pacers then because
So,
we
let's throw everything that we've talked
throw
about
it all
out.
away because the dude those remember back in the day, or I guess maybe not remember because it was like the 2003 draft. I heard the story about the guy who the Pistons got over Carmelo Anthony. I totally forget his name, and they said that the reason why they took him was because of his workout. His workout was just phenomenal with the team. So I mean, Dyson Daniels might have to go 1 now. If his workout was the best that Indiana's ever seen, he has to go. That's number 1. All right. Anyways, number 9 to the Spurs. Who you got?
I have AJ Griffin.
God damn it,
Dude. Seriously?
Yeah.
That was one that I didn't even see in the mock drafts.
No, I didn't. I thought this was a sneaky pick. I was like, ugh, all right, well,
This is why do we even do this?
I don't know. We should just do them together. We should just do them together from now on because I know our next pick's the same too.
I've already talked about it.
I know. All right, well, anyways, let's talk about AJ Griffin.
No, you're right though. He seems like a sneaky pick because he reminds me a little bit of Cam Reddish because he was a highly rated guy who came in and wasn't the number 1 guy on the team.
Yeah, and he also wasn't. He like dipped in what people expected of him.
Right. Yeah. Where like Reddish was also that guy. He was like a top 10 recruit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that year, what was it? Barrett was 1, Zion was 3, and Reddish was 5, maybe.
I think so. It was something crazy.
So like they almost had a similar where it was like they had Paolo, Mark Williams at center, and then Griffin. Is it Griffin or Griffith?
Griffin.
Okay, I like that. That's better.
Yeah, Griffin's better than Griffith.
But he seems like a guy. And like, who else do the Spurs have that's?
No, they don't have a lot of forwards,
especially at the wing.
No, they don't have a wing position, and it seems like that's. We talk about the raw talent of him because coming out of high school, that's the perfect spot to put him with Pop still being there. He hasn't retired yet. The team has always been good with developing these guys, so it seems like a perfect spot.
Murray at point guard too.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I mean, I could see them going a bunch of different directions here. They could go big man. That would work also.
Yeah, they could also use a big man.
So, yeah,
but
this will be an interesting pick.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. All right, number 10. I also put Johnny Davis just because.
Johnny Davis.
I put him there like you know what you're talking about. I feel like he's gonna. I feel like he's kind of glued there to me. Yeah, I couldn't see anyone else getting going to the Wizards.
Well, I've talked about it before that I like the Big Ten guys because I get the chance to watch them play. So that's why I like Ivy, of course, is my first option if they can trade up. But if not, Johnny Davis is another guy that worries me a little bit that he's like such a dominant scorer in college, and then once he faces NBA defenses, it doesn't translate super well. But for better or for worse, I always like the guy who watched dominate in college, opposed to
Are you worried about the 3-point? The 3-point percentage is pretty shit. Shot 30% in college.
I don't know. He also will have more open looks.
Yeah,
He
will.
was taking a billion shots a game last year.
Okay. All right. I didn't know how many shots he was taking a game.
I'll see if I can find it. But he was like the guy.
Okay, so now he'd be in a role where Kuzma and Casey Porzingis are taking all the shots. So yeah, you're right.
He's got to learn to pass the rock though.
That's true. If he can't,
because he's not going to come in on the Wizards.
No, and they need a point guard too.
8 rebounds a game.
That's a lot. It's a lot of rebounds.
That's incredible for a guard.
He needs to be a better passer. He needs to have better, more assist numbers because the Wizards, if they draft him here, he's gonna have to play point. I feel like instead of the shooting guard stance that I don't know, maybe he's point, but
I mean he had the ball in his hands.
All the
time. That was
so. A guy like that is gonna have to learn how to pass. I think. With the other stuff, we underrate how much people have to learn in the NBA no matter what. So it's gonna be a growing pain anyways. He'll be in there. I think it'd be a great fit.
I mean, they need a guard.
Yeah, they need a guard,
especially if Beal doesn't come back, which I'm kind of banking on, honestly.
If I'm the Wizards, I wouldn't want to sign. I wouldn't want to pay him $250 million.
No, I don't either. I would not be heartbroken.
Like thank you, Beal, for all the All-Star games you made for us, but that's about it.
Yeah.
All right. Number 11, the Knicks. I have Mark Williams out of Duke.
I have Tari Eason from LSU.
No idea who that is. I'm not gonna lie. That guy's not on my 14. I have no
idea. Oh, okay.
You take
power forward.
Okay, power forward. Nice.
And score. And shoot the 3 ball.
Cool.
Again, I don't like. This is the part of the draft where I basically run out of material.
Yeah, we've kind of fallen off. Look, Knicks need a center. I gave him the Duke one, and the Duke
Mitch Robinson.
Yeah, he's a free agent. Might not resign.
Oh,
Might have to go somewhere else. So you get Mark here. You can stick him right in, and I don't know how good or bad he really was, but he was a Duke center that shot. Oh my God, he shot 72%. That's ridiculous.
They're all like layups.
Yeah, they're all just dunks and layups. Because he has a 0 3-point percentage. So.
That can't really.
This seems like a great Knicks player. I'm not gonna lie. It seemed old school. Yeah, let's throw it back. Run it with Julius Randle and him. Love it. All right, that's all I got for the Knicks. Number 12. OKC's back up.
I have Jeremy Sochan from Baylor.
I've heard of that guy.
Just get another big guy. Pair with Chet.
I have Jalen Duren, the Memphis guy.
Same idea.
Yep. Pair him with another big guy. Chet gets another big guy there. And I was thinking Giddey gets another big guy where Duren really didn't have any point guards in Memphis. And now you get Giddey who can find him and just give him some nice lobs that he didn't really get. All right. What else? Now we got the Hornets.
I have Duren going to Charlotte.
Okay.
They also need.
They need a center desperately. They need a center desperately.
So this would be like falling into their lap, honestly.
Yeah, they would be lucky if they got. I feel like they got him there. I have Ousmane Dieng going there because there wasn't any top tier centers coming back. This guy didn't play in college. He was in Australia or France. France. Yeah, France. And they said I totally forget what the scouting report was on him now that I have him. But I don't know. It seems like small forward, France. They said his shooting wasn't very good. Sorry, he played in New Zealand.
Small
Sorry.
forward,
Yeah,
France.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, he played in New Zealand now. Actually, I lied about the France. I
Okay.
don't really know much about this guy at all. How about that?
Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, yeah. 3-point shot apparently was bad, but we've seen the European guys get it better in the league. So that's all I got.
This is why people listen
Yes, yeah, they
for
listen
this kind of analysis.
All right. My next guy, I literally know nothing about. I'm not gonna lie.
What are we at? 14?
Yeah, Malachi Baram.
Oh yeah, there we go. Malachi
Okay.
Branham. He's an
There you
Ohio
go.
State guy. He wasn't even the best player on the team though. EJ Liddell was.
Well, he was ranked
But,
high enough to go 14.
Yeah, he was. He's got a higher ceiling, I guess, than Liddell. I don't think Liddell's a good guy that transitions very well. He reminded me a little bit of Obi Toppin. But yeah, I don't know. He didn't impress me that much at Ohio State. But I guess the scouts are high on him.
Sure.
I have
Sure.
I have Oche Abaji from Kansas, a guy who didn't miss a 3-pointer against. Oh, was it in the national championship or the Final Four when he hit like the first 5 shots of the game and they were all threes? I think it was the championship. Oh wait, because they were down big. It was the Final Four. Sorry.
Wow, this guy, he's the
best
senior.
player on the national championship team. So.
And he's a senior too. He seems like NBA ready, going to the Cavs, because they have to be NBA ready if they're playing 4 years of college. But how old is this kid?
22 or 23.
He's got to be.
Yeah, he's 22. But he can shoot.
I like it. 14th pick seems like a great 14th pick right there. Damn, he can shoot really well. He shot 40% from 3. It's pretty damn good.
So I feel like worst case scenario there, you at least get a guy that can come off the bench and shoot threes. I thought he was bigger than 6'5", to be honest.
Smells like Neesmith.
I was thinking that.
Smells like Neesmith.
Yeah, but Neesmith didn't win a national championship.
That's true, and he wasn't the best player on that team. So
that is correct.
Higher upside. All right. Well, that was a shit show. That was a train wreck at the end. I'm not gonna lie. That was
we knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, that was pretty horrendous.
I think there was a disclaimer anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. That might have made the audience cringe. So let's transfer and talk about the top 5 things that make you cringe.
I hope that we're not.
I hope you're not on your list. That would suck. But I would accept Wise Guy's end of NBA lottery mock draft. That I would be accept, but just us in general, that would hurt.
Yeah, that would not be great.
All right, so top 5 things that make us cringe. Chris, you went first last time. I'm going first.
Go for it. All right.
Mouth noises. Just like when you get when people chewing.
Like when you're chewing?
Yeah, they're chewing and
Okay.
they're trying to pick something out of their teeth and they're making a bunch of noise. Can't stand it. Makes me cringe every time.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Sloppy
someone
eaters.
who chews with their mouth open.
Yeah, yeah.
That's tough.
It's pretty cringe. It's pretty cringe.
I got bullied out of doing that as a kid.
Good.
My
Good.
my mom and my sister would agree with you on that one.
Yell at you. Good.
Yeah. That's good. I don't know if that's worth it being number 1.
Yeah, I don't. Those I was like, what's the thing that I will cringe I will cringe immediately if I just hear someone across the table, and just going to town, bro.
All right, my number 1 is somebody bombing while public speaking. That one I can't deal with. I will just sit there and just let this end.
Yeah.
Please let it end. And it feels like it goes on for so long too.
The worst is when they start cringing up there. They're up on stage and they know it's bad, so they start cringing themselves, and you're like, oh.
This one's fresh in my mind because the wedding that I went to, I won't name names, but there was one speaker who was really hard to listen to.
Made you cringe a little bit?
A little bit is an understatement. It It was really bad.
That's brutal. Calling out your own family.
No, it wasn't a family member.
Okay, all right, that's good.
I doubt this person listens, so it's okay. But it
All
was
right.
tough.
Number 2. I have a new number 2. I literally just thought of it.
Okay.
PDA. Just
Oh damn!
massive. Like
Have that on my
I'm
list.
big against PDA. It makes me cringe. So that had to be thrown out
It's
there.
especially in places where it doesn't make any sense. Like I've seen it at the dining hall before,
Just
and I'm
like
just like, are you
anywhere in
kidding?
public. It's like if you're not like, I like where would you even like have it make sense? I guess
I guess, yeah.
like I don't. That's just me. Maybe that's just me. But it's
Well, I feel like there's certain places where it's like, I don't know, like if you're just like walking down the street, like holding hands and you smooch, like that's not.
yeah. I'm talking
You're
aggressive
holding
PDA.
hands and smooching in the dining hall.
Yeah, I'm
That's
talking
so much different.
aggressive PDA.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like
I mean, it was worse in high school because, like, there was literally no appropriate spot for it. But even if I see it, like, on campus, like, you know, you're sitting on the lawn or whatever and you're sucking face, that's not okay.
there should never be an instance where you're sucking face in public. In public, it should never happen. Like, there's not an excuse in the world that has sucking face.
What about it, like, a party? Or a club or something?
a club? Like, if it's a dark lighted club,
Yeah. Okay.
sure, go ahead. And like a party, like I don't know. I guess a party works. I guess you could.
But you're
suck
still
face at a
subject to
party.
being filmed.
Yeah, no, and made fun of.
Yeah.
And made fun of. So, yeah, that's where I land on PDA.
Holding hands, I feel like, is always the one that really makes me cringe.
That depends. Like if you're like walking around like the mall or something, holding hands, like Jesus Christ.
That's the
Like,
thing.
God,
It's like,
are you
there are
serious?
spots where holding hands is perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
But then there are other spots where it's not like
It's like seriously.
like at the grocery store
Yeah.
or something like that. It's like, do we really need to be like? Are
God,
you guys that deeply in love?
Yeah.
Where you have to like release your grip from her hand to go grab the loaf of bread?
Ugh. That's making me cringe.
that
right
just
now.
makes me- yeah,
That's making me cringe right now.
All right, that was great because I have my number 3 was over the top PDA. So I
That was a great steal.
stolen,
I stole it.
but
Yeah,
that was
that
a
was
steal.
great steal.
My number 2, which I think is worse, is people who think that they're quirky and they're not at all. That drives me nuts. And it's like it's like people that think that they're funny but aren't really funny, but it's the quirk. Because I feel like nobody's actually quirky.
No, yeah, it's a choice to be quirky.
Yeah, and it's
choice.
never funny.
No,
I
it's
can't
like,
even, I can't even like describe exactly what I'm saying. I
we
guess
don't want to
it's
step
like,
on any
like
toes either.
well, think of like your average theater kid, I guess.
Yeah.
And like the things that they think are funny, that's what makes me cringe.
The issue is
That's
not,
the best way I can explain.
and
it.
the issue is not that they find it funny, is that they think everyone else finds it funny.
Right.
That's the issue.
Yes.
It's
It's fine if like that's the type of YouTube video that you watch at home, or like you're on quirky TikTok or whatever.
Or it's yeah, and maybe that's your thing. Like, sure, that's your thing, but like, don't make your thing
Thing
everyone
sucks.
else's thing. No, but don't make your thing everyone else's problem.
Right.
Like, keep it separately. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Your thing sucks. Quirky, yeah,
Just being mean now.
it make me cringe. Yeah, and
My
it's like,
top 2, I've like directly been mean to certain people. Whatever.
all right. This one, like a song as your ringtone. That's cringe.
Unless you're over the age of 40.
Okay.
I think you're fine if you're older.
Okay. I didn't,
Because
I've
that's
never,
like-
I've never heard that take before. I don't mind it though.
Well, my dad has Werewolves of London as
Okay.
his ringtone, and every time I hear the like, "Ow,
Yeah.
Werewolves of London," I'm like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, okay. I can see that. But like, you got like a little Uzi Vert song as your I guess your ringtone? Like, come on now, bro. Like, come on, just put it as the normal thing.
Do you encounter that a lot? Because I feel like
Not
I
a
never
lot,
see that.
not a lot, but like I've seen it before. Like I've heard like like in the library. Like I've heard like a song like just start
Well, also
playing
the
and,
fact
like,
that you're
feel like
not keeping your phone on silent at all times.
yeah, your phone should be at vibrate at all times.
Like I think that you're honestly, again, unless you're old, you're an insane person if you don't leave your phone on silent. If like I get a ping or something like that, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't like that
I
either.
immediately turn it back off. And I'm
Also,
like, why would I even have it on?
the typing when you're typing on your
Ugh,
phone, it's just,
that one's
it
brutal.
bothers me so much. That makes me
There's
cringe
no
in
reason
itself.
for it.
No, there's
Yeah.
not.
Ugh,
All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one's bad.
Yeah, music ringtones. That's cringe.
Yeah. All right, my number 3, people who speak in memes. Like, are you come up with your own material? Like, you don't have to. Like, everything doesn't have to be. I feel like I'm pretty good at like referencing things on the fly,
Yeah.
but I know my audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're just speaking in memes in front of people that you don't really know, like, it's not funny at all.
It's always cringe when you don't know your audience, no matter what
Yes.
whether you're speaking in memes or like
I have
inside
a pretty
jokes.
similar one later.
Or
actually.
okay, all right, then I won't get into it much. But yeah, speaking
It's
memes,
not. It's an honorable mention. So.
if you're just throwing memes out there expecting people to pick it up,
Mhm.
you're in the wrong.
I feel like you can kind of gauge what person makes me cringe based on my list. At least based on number 2 and 3, because
Yeah.
those ones are very similar. Because I feel like the quirky person is similar to the person who is just
Chucking
way
at memes.
over entrenched in the meme culture.
Yeah,
Except unless it's Virgin Chad.
the Virgin Chad's always
It's
good.
Virgin Chad.
Virgin Chad's always
Then
good.
go for it.
You're right,
'Cause that
but
one I will always find.
and
funny.
it can't just be like the meme has to cater to your audience. If you're
Mhm.
if you want to start by speaking in memes, it's got to cater to your audience. But you also don't just throw it out there, you know? You can't just be like you can't just like pretend it's not a meme, you know? You got to
Right, yeah.
You got to be aware that it's a meme. I agree. I agree on that one. All right. My next one. App ads. Make me cringe. The ones that like purposely do it, like just some shitty game, and they purposely have the guy be terrible at it because they want you to download it. It makes me cringe every time.
The ones that like ask you or make you like play a little bit of the game to move on. I mean, aren't we past that?
I know. Yeah.
Like, who plays games anymore?
I don't know. I have
I have,
one
like-
downloaded, and it's not even like a game. It's like a simulator, more like it's like one of those building thing. Like it's Fallout Shelter. I just build like I have like a little vault, but that's all I got. I don't play games anymore. But like if I'm
Yeah.
playing besides Solitaire, I have Solitaire. But like if I'm playing Solitaire, and I get one of those ads, it's like, what audience do you think is gonna like? Who's gonna go from some Solitaire to this stupid ass puzzle game?
Mhm.
That is all the same. Like it's all some Candy Crush knockoff that no one cares about.
Yeah, that and like the Clash knockoffs.
Yeah.
I guess that's not as big as it used to be, but like when Clash was super big, you would always get like Boom Beach and stuff like that ads, and it's like, why would I play that if I could play Clash instead?
Yeah, it's like I'm and especially it's like I'm already playing Clash like right now. Like why?
Right? Yeah, they give you the ad for Boom Beach
Yeah,
like
it's like,
in the middle of Clash.
like why would I do that?
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
All right, what are we on? 4, right?
Mhm.
People who are too woke. Mine are all people. I've
Your
realized
list
now.
Your list is gonna destroy mine. I feel like.
But people who like everything they have to turn into like, and this is why like America's racist, and it's like, okay.
There
well,
are
that's-
people like that, and there's also
it's
people-
journalists that are the problem.
Yeah. There's
'Cause you
also
get clickbaity headlines like that.
and then people start to talk like that and think they're smart. The other thing that bothers me is similar, and maybe it's woke. I never found like the right adjective for it, but it's like the people who are like too worried about everything. They're like you'd say something and they'd be like, oh well, like that could be bad for you in some way, or like something like that could be like, oh, you know, like you could like sue them for something stupid, like I don't know, like in just like a normal conversation, it's like they always got to make it something about how it could be worrisome, and maybe that could be hand in hand with woke, because But I agree. The woke community. It's the Instagram post on the stories.
I almost put Instagram down, but I figured that would be included in this. The stories are just
The story post is just it's everything. It's everything that we're talking about.
You ever click on one of them and like read through the 6 posts and just immediately like want to delete Instagram? Because I feel that way a lot, and I don't know why. Because I'll see a post and I'll read the initial thing that it's trying to say, and I'm like, I have to know. Like,
I have to know exactly.
I have to know like how dumb it is, because they're just like connecting dots that aren't supposed to be connected, and like everything has to be like sexist or racist or homophobic.
Yeah.
Everything's a microaggression too.
Yes. The other thing, like, when you think about it, it's like, if Seinfeld was released today, there's no way that show would last a season.
I know.
Like, there's not, and it just ruins, it's like people are trying to be funny. Like, all these things are not racist or sexist or
the one thing that we have left
the stigma.
Is stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Because comedians, for whatever reason, are allowed to say whatever they want, and they don't care. Like, they will get threats and like letters that say like, this is not okay, like we're gonna cancel you, and they say we don't care. And Netflix has their back, which is huge.
Yeah, it is huge, and it needs to be that way, because once we forget how to laugh, it's it's hard to come back. It's hard to come back from that when you're blaming everything instead of just taking it as a joke that it is, just calling it a problem and calling it that it needs to. And of course, this is not undermining the actual problems that are out there. It's
right. That's the thing. But if
when
you
you
can't
start
make light of certain things,
and when you're also making problems,
like, you just become miserable.
You also just are making more, like, the woke people that you're describing are just making more and more problems. They're just they're twisting it to, oh, I'm offended for them, instead of like
you're also making it seem like, or not less of a problem, but making people disregard the actual problem because you're taking things that aren't an issue and turning it into an issue, and then people are like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and
so then they think that the entire issue that might actually be an issue, they're ignoring it.
Yes, and they use your other arguments, the arguments that don't make sense. They use that against your arguments that do make sense.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Glad we're on the same page. Makes me cringe. All right.
That's super cringy.
Number 5. Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
Yep. That's
any sort of thing in the media.
It's really bad. The Mr. Unlimited video.
It's the greatest video of all time.
Itself.
It is the greatest video of all time.
It might be the worst video of all time.
You can't, like,
I haven't watched the whole thing, I don't think, without just being like,
It's like torture. It's like torture watching that.
It really is torture.
All of his like TikToks and all of his like media stuff, it's just like, there's no other way to describe it besides cringe.
He's like the poster boy of cringe.
Yeah, and like,
but I can't tell if it's fake or not. I don't think it is. I think he's
I think he's
just a cringe dude.
Yeah, I think he's just cringe. And like, it seems like it's all genuine. It's all like, it's supposed to be in good fun. And it seems like he's a nice guy. Like, it just,
that's why I don't have that much of a problem with it.
No, I don't have an issue with it either.
It does seem genuine.
He's just cringe. Like, he literally cannot help it. He is just simply cringe.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks.
It
kind of sucks for him.
He does think that he's like quirky.
He does. Yeah, he does think he's
so
quirky.
he fits right in at number 2. All right. My number 5 is people who aren't self-aware. Whether that's like your ego is too big, or think that you're funny and you're not. That bothers me.
This is a real hatred list for you.
I know. I really turned it into just shitting on everybody that I know.
It's a real haters
indirectly.
List. Yeah, it's a real haters list.
People make me cringe. I had on my list, actually, when I was making it, the average Gen Z person. And then I was like, you know what? I can split this up
In a bunch of different categories.
different things. That one's way too broad. But yeah,
The
that was gonna be my number 2. I
yeah,
just created the rest of my list based on what that person is. So
well, I hope you don't piss off too many people with this list.
I don't think I will. And if I do, bummer.
It seems like you're cringe. No, I agree. The unself-aware people, especially in the day of age of social media, because they can just spread their unawareness to everybody, and everyone just looks at them and cringes. All right, honorable mentions. I have bad takes. Cringe.
Yes.
Lots of people on Twitter. It goes hand in hand with everything you've said. Bleacher Report. Cringe.
Report is very cringe.
And then fanfics. Cringe. Cringe.
All right, I have Scott's Tots.
I fucking love that episode. It is.
I
funny.
learned to like it because I
so
actually
funny.
like for all the things I have on here, Cringy TV is like my favorite. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like there's not an episode of The Office that actually bothers me anymore.
No,
Scott's Tots was the one where at the time of watching it, it was too much for me.
No,
I've learned to appreciate
every
it.
time. Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't deal with this.
It's funny. There's some things that George does where I'm just like, oh my god, like George, like.
Well,
Costanza.
the problem with Seinfeld is 3 minutes into the episode, you can tell like what's gonna happen, and you're just like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for it.
No, they lay out the pieces, and you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it becomes once you're like a couple seasons in, it becomes so predictable.
But
It
it's still
doesn't change how funny it is.
No, that's still best show ever. But
yeah.
Okay. Keep
And
going.
then the other one I have is People That Can't Read the Room.
Oh, that's a good one. There's a lot. Yeah, people who can't read the room, they got some problems. They got problems ahead of them and just in the world. Feel bad for them. All right, that does it. How was the Phillies game?
Pretty cringe.
Did you say taxes? Taxes are cringe. Gas prices cringe. Star Trek, a little cringe. Let's see what else we got here. I'm just trying to look around the room.
I think anime is kind of cringe.
You're gonna get some haters on that one.
I know.
I'm not one of them because I could be indifferent about anime. I don't really care, but because I don't watch it, nor do I hate on it. But I
don't
see
hate
where it
on
can be
it. I
cringe.
just think it's a little bit
I
cringe.
can see where it gets cringe. The Eagles, cringe. Giants, cringe. What else we got? That seems to cover
Football
pretty much
fans who think that they know a lot about football when they don't, which is 98% of football fans.
unwise guys. They
Unwise
are
guys
they
super
are cringe.
cringe.
They are cringe.
Basically, anybody other than me is what this list has turned into.
Oh my god. Yeah, haters of the podcast, cringe. They should be number one. Haters of the podcast. They're my new number one. Is cringe. But I think that does it. How was the Phillies game? Were they
It was
cringe?
awesome.
Okay.
Oh, they weren't cringe
Good.
at all.
I'm glad.
Nats fans actually super
That's
cringe.
It's cringe.
I can't believe I didn't have that on there. Every time they score a run, they do this thing where they go N-A-T-S, Nats, 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 woo! And they like raise their hats like that.
That's cringe.
And like my
That's
dad,
cringe.
the first time they did it, we just like looked at each other and we were like, this is gonna be a long day if the Phillies don't
that is
win both of these games. But yeah, they won first game. I think it was 5-3. Got a little stressful at the end, but the second game they were down 5-3, and Bryce didn't play. Came into pinch hit in the 8th inning with 2 guys on, and they were gonna walk him. It was 3-0. Guy throws a pitch that's high. Calls it a strike, and Bryce was like so pissed about it. And then the next pitch, for some reason, he grooves him a strike, and Harper hit it in the gap. Game tying double. And it was the day after the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And he gets to second base, and he went like that. Like the thing that Curry did.
Oh, Curry's cringe.
And He can be cringe, yeah.
The stuff he was doing. Do you see him laying on the floor of the parade doing the night
Oh,
night? That was
I didn't watch
fucking
anything.
cringe.
I didn't watch anything from the parade, but yeah. So that was awesome.
That's gotta
I
be
love.
electric.
I thought about like I couldn't get Bryce out of my head for like 24 hours.
That was electric.
That's all I thought about.
Sweet.
But yeah, so then they ended up winning that game too. They took 4 or 5 from the Nats. That was fun.
Sweet.
Got booed so hard too because they hate him in DC.
Good. Good. As they
And
should.
hit him with the
Nice.
probably the least cringe thing I've ever seen. Doing like opposites.
That was epically based. That was absolutely epically
That was
based.
pretty cringe.
All right. Let's slow your roll there. All right. Well, that does it for the pod. We somehow got this to an hour and 30. So, I hope you guys all
We
enjoyed.
did a whole mock draft. The off-season preview was more in depth than I
Yeah, that
figured, which
we did. We
should
did a
have
little
seen
more than that.
coming.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well, that does it. See you guys all on Friday, and good luck to your teams in the end.
happy birthday to my little sister Alex.
Oh, nice.
I'm 18.
Nice.
Shout out at the end.
Shout out.